The Marxist ideals of critical race theory are infiltrating our military, the very institution we need to remain objective and defend our freedom against the communist threat. Here to weigh in is attorney, political commentator, and co-chair of Women for Trump, Madison, Gesiotto Gilbert, and former U.S. Space Force Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Lohmeier. Thank you both for being here. Such an important topic. Last week, General Mark Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, responded to a question in a congressional hearing challenging him on critical race theory initiatives in the military. Take a listen.
I personally find it offensive that we are accusing the United States military, our general officers, our commissioned, non-commissioned officers, of being, quote, woke or something else because we're studying some theories that are out there. That was started at Harvard Law School years ago.
Colonel Lohmeier, you were dismissed from your duties for calling out Marxism in the military being pushed by the left. The general seemed to say, hey, this is no big deal. He was offended by the fact that we were even asked about this divisive, un-American material that is being pushed on our military. What's your take on his response?
Tom, first, thanks for having me. I only speak for myself and not the Defense Department, as always. I won't comment specifically on General Milley, but I will comment about critical race theory. It's divisive. It undermines good order and discipline in the ranks, and it uproots the good morale that we've had traditionally for a very long time because we're unified around a particular mission to defend the country. It's divisive because it was created by those who intend to divide America. It was created by Marxists, at least the critical school of thought was, and it's just a child of the critical school of thought. One of the things that's come up quite a bit recently has been Ibram Kendi's book. Take a look at just the introduction of that book, and you'll see that, to your point, not only is it un-American, but it's anti-American because it attacks the U.S. Constitution.
Right. Absolutely. Madison, we're watching China and Russia rise. These are authoritarian governments. Should we be concerned that the divisiveness of CRT could ultimately end up weakening this country? And a bonus question for you, Madison, since you're an attorney, do you believe that CRT is actually against the Civil Rights Act? It violates the Civil Rights Act and the civil rights of Americans.
Well, I'm very concerned when it comes to critical race theory being taught in our schools among a host of other social justice movements that we're seeing pushed upon young Americans specifically. And I think when you talk about this now being put into our military, that's even more concerning because the rest of the world is laughing at us. Our enemies are laughing at us. Of course, us already being in an environment in which we do not have a strong president. And so countries like Russia and China will continue to rise, whereas they were really kind of held in place by President Trump. They were held accountable to a certain extent. But the concern with China specifically is that we've seen China rise for the past 20 years, of course, being emboldened by politicians here in the United States like Joe Biden, who all the way back in 2000 allowed them to enter the World Trade Organization, said they would never be an economic threat. The Obama administration and others not holding them accountable for their horrific acts. And I was in Israel a few years ago, sat down with a good friend of mine from UN Watch, Halal Noir, and he was telling me about, the horrific atrocities committed by countries like China and Russia. Yet we have them on the United Nations Human Rights Council. So it's really horrible to see what's going on in the world. As the greatest nation in the world, we need to be proud to be Americans and standing up for what's right in this country, because we do not want to be soft or to be second to another country like China or Russia. We have to hold strong.
Yeah, we're actually smearing our own country when we push this stuff like CRT. It's astonishing to me. Speaking of our enemies, today marks the 100-year anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party. During a speech in Tiananmen Square, President Xi Jinping had harsh words for those who might stand against China. He said, quote, anyone who would attempt to do so will find themselves on a collision course with a great wall of steel forged by over 1.4 billion Chinese people. Colonel, do you believe that the Biden administration appreciates the true threat of communist China?
Again, because of my position, I won't comment specifically on the Biden administration or pretend to speak to that point. But what I will say is this. China's a very strong country. They've been growing stronger and stronger by each year. And what they're seeking to do at the moment is to legitimize their autocratic, collectivist regime and worldview in the eyes of the world. And they're also seeking to delegitimize the Western democracies of the world, to include specifically the United States. And I think there's nothing that they would appreciate more than to see us get internally fractured by pandering to the social justice activism and the politicizing nature of critical race theory in our armed forces like we are today.
Madison, one last thing for you. Newsmax covered former President Trump's Ohio rally last weekend from beginning to end. We heard that you attended it. Give us a little bit of detail about your experience. What was it like to be there?
Well, my husband, myself, my sister, and our cousin who's staying with us this summer all went, and it was incredible. I mean, to see the amount of people that come out for a president who is no longer president, and we're, of course, 3.5 years from an election, is incredible. And it, I think, speaks to the movement that President Trump created, because this is far greater than one man. This is a movement of, someone stepping forward and, no longer forgetting about the American people. For so long, many people across this country felt like their voices were not heard. And with President Trump and the policies that he implemented, they felt their voices were heard. So I thought there was a great turnout. Of course, Newsmax being one of the few outlets that covered it, and the ratings obviously reflected how happy people were about that. But President Trump brought attention to the fact that many other outlets, including Fox, were not covering that rally. So that was interesting, too.
Well, thank you to you both. Madison, Gesiotto, Gilbert, and Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Lohmeier, Colonel. And of course, again, thank you for your service.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.